Get your people on, y'all, okay? Because this is gonna be good. I'm gonna start. Rachel, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity for this. I'm so excited. But start by, for all of the new people here, telling me your story, like the real nitty gritty. I want to hear all the juice, okay, about your story.
Hi guys. Wow, I thought it'd been a while, so I'm excited that I'm able to do this with you guys, and I'm honored that Christine was so willing to be your gracious host on today. So, yes, so for those of you guys who don't really know my story, my name is Rachel Whigham. I've been here for 7 years. Let me see, July, August, September, October, November. So I'm almost to 7.5 years, which is crazy to me. Oh, that's crazy. I started this business because I was in a bad place financially. I wasn't necessarily looking for anything outside of education. I thought education was my way out. I truly believe that if I just went to school, I had a master's, but I believe that I just go back to school and just get more education, then I'll finally be able to make more money. The problem is I was creating more and more debt when I was in the process of going back to school each time because I was not, my school wasn't paid for, like none of it. I was taking out student loans for everything. And so I was accumulating more and more debt. And then I wanted to be married one day. And I was like, how am I going to go and be married to somebody and I'm coming with all this baggage to the table, just not in a good place. So when I was at a party, I got invited to a party, guys. Friend of mine, my husband, he's in a fraternity, and we just did a lot of double datings with him and his ships and with his fraternity brothers, the guys on his line. And the girl, one of the girlfriends, they weren't even married. One of the girlfriends was like, "Hey, hold on one second, my kid."
Listen, y'all, I've heard this juice, okay, and it's amazing.
So I heard she just invited me to a party, and so she told me to, hey, come, $25 to rap. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna rap. I didn't have the money, y'all. I did not have any extra money. I was not in a good place financially, but you're just that supportive friend. And so I decided I was gonna go and just support her and give my $25 that I did not have in order to just support her. And yeah, when I got there and heard about a lady making $15,000 a month, the house is pretty decent that I went over. I was like, wait, $15,000 a month? Like where? How? And she was a nurse practitioner. Her husband was a general manager at Deerbergs, combined with bonuses. I'm like, yo, like if you can make $15,000 and this is a business of integrity, it's a Christian-based business, the products are all natural, I can make 500. I know I can. Yeah, I walked away from that party. I didn't have the money to sign up. But as soon as I got it, which was like a week later, I was just waiting for deposit from school. So I actually used my refund from school to sign up for the business. I was in class when I signed up for It Work. She didn't have to call me. I just went on her website and signed up. I boosted and changed my life. So that was the beginning of my yes. But I'm gonna tell you guys, that was 7.5 years ago. As a single mom. And so I started to look for things to go after I went to conference. So conference is coming up. You can't miss it. Like you cannot miss it. Conference changed my life. I've been to 6 conferences, I think. And my first conference was the only conference that I went to that I was not married. And so my husband he's went to all my conferences. So if he loved you,
He was your sugar daddy too.
he was my sugar daddy because at my first conference, I could not afford anything. So he paid. He paid for the hotel room. My grandma paid for my flight. He bought me a shirt. I couldn't even afford a shirt. I could barely afford to eat. Like I could barely afford to eat food. But I just knew I had to be there. They was like, you got to get there. You got to get there. And yeah, I went. 3 months later, I was a Ruby that was back paid as a distributor. Went diamond in 3 months. And then from there, it was just history. Every single time I go to conference, my life changes. And so I really saw what the company was all about. And once I saw what the company was about and what was possible, that was important for me. When I saw what was possible, I was like, oh no, like I never knew that there was anything like this that existed. I am working social services. And so in social services, how am I supposed to, I can't even pay my bills with a master's degree. Like, what's up? Like, I'm a single mom out here trying to pay my bills. And that's what they told me to do. They told me to go to school and get an education. And here I am with an education. And now I can't pay my bills. And you want some money? No, how does that work? Like, you want me to pay you, but I can't even pay my bills with the education that you gave me. And so I was like, I got something got to give. And so I decided to say yes and just go all in. And so Christine, like, as she wrote, like, if you guys don't know, and this story, everything about my life is different, is what I like to tell y'all. I went from no savings account, okay, no savings account, unable, calling my granddaddy every single time I had an emergency. Anybody got somebody like that? You got that one person that financially, if you need help, they're always there. That was my grandfather, right? That was my granddaddy. That was me. That was me. And I was like, no more, no more. Like, I didn't want to be there anymore. And so this business gave me a savings account. It gave me the ability that when my car broke down, I could go to the lot and actually buy a car because I had a diamond bonus coming in. So I had that extra income so I could pay my a monthly payment on a car. Like, it changed my whole life. And then it made me think bigger. I decided I was coming home. I got fired. Anybody ever got fired? Okay. I got fired from my job. How am I going to pay my bills? Like, normally I'd be freaking out, but I had extra income coming in and I decided to stay home. So this business has been everything to me and more. I don't know what other questions you want about my story because there's so much to it. So you tell me what part you want to hear beyond that.
Listen, I got some questions. So, okay, I know there's a lot of things that happen. You got fired right before your marriage, okay? And you paid for your wedding cash, okay? Let's just really talk about these things and simmer in it. But I know so much of your story is a lot like mine because I have a master's degree, and when I actually acquired my master's degree, they told me like you're not getting a raise, sweetie. But so let's fast forward a little bit. So when you reach triple diamond, top 150, I believe you were number 148, if my memory is correct. The first time, okay, maybe I'm right. Top number 148, the first time, like after your second conference, I believe. And at that point in time, listen, y'all were good. You were triple diamond, your husband was double diamond. What inspired you to keep going?
My team. The reason why Brianna and I decided to push forward, I'm not even gonna lie, when we was going triple diamond, it was ratchet. Like, we had bad motives. Like, we really did. It wasn't good. And I was actually thinking about this the other day, and because when Pastor Tyra was talking about the roots, like, what's the roots behind it? Oh my God, this is real, because the roots behind what we were doing is not wrong. Oh, this is for somebody tonight. Okay. So if you guys have not went and watched The Last Forgiveness University, go watch it, because a lot of times what happens is in life and in this business, it becomes to a point where, and I've been here like multiple times in my business. Oh, especially when I first started. Oh, wait, you think I ain't gonna make no money? I'll show you. Oh, okay. You think this is only gonna last a little? Oh, I'll show you. Oh, you counted me out. Oh, I'll show you. Oh, you rude. Oh, okay. Like, those were the roots. Like, it was like I was proving a point. And what happens is when God blesses your socks off, then what? Who are you proving the point to now? How do you find the motivation to go to the next level? It's not cute. And so it wasn't cute going triple diamond. But I decided, I was like, hey, like, listen, we're making good money. And I'm just gonna be real. In our culture, it's not a real thing to make this kind of money. And I said, if I can do it, I have to teach other people how to do this. Yeah, I was like 26 years old with a master's degree, making my salary in a month. Like, that was insert income disclosure statement right through here. Okay. That was, of course, we know it can be done, but not everybody achieves these kind of ranks because not everybody is willing to go above and beyond and persevere in order to get there. So, it's the money is there, but not everybody pushes to actually get there. I am a part of the 1%. That's my income disclosure. So, it was about the team. I wanted the team to be able to experience what I experienced. I want you to see a check that's $16,000. I want you to see a check. Yeah, I want you to see a check that's $6,000. Yeah. I remember the first time seeing that. Like, yo, $6,000? You mean I pay all my bills and I got money left over? Like, bro, What you mean? Like, that's crazy to me. I don't have to budget. I mean, you need a budget, but I don't have to budget when I go in. I don't have to go to the store and just buy toilet paper or buy the 2-roll because I can't afford the 16-roll. Come on. I can't afford to shop at Sam's. Like, this is real. I remember the first time I shopped at Sam's. Bro, who can shop at Sam's? Not me. Like, I can buy in bulk. Like, listen, this is the good life right here. I wanted other people to experience that. And so that's why I decided to keep going. Like, hands down, yes, I desired for Breon to bring Breon home. But when Breon and I had the discussion right after I went triple, they said we have to keep going because if we can live like this, then we want other people to live like this too.
That's amazing because so many times like people see the highlight reel, but this is a journey that you have been on, and I really want so many people to get the journey throughout these questions that I'm asking you today. So you talked a lot about how your team inspired you. Was building a squad, a community, a family that we have here with Money Squad, was that always your goal?
Not initially. When I first started, no, I didn't know what I was doing, yo. I just wanted some extra money. Like, that was it. When I said yes, it was selfish. I needed money. Like, I legit needed money. And I remember, like, because I remember I was boxed in for Double Diamond. And I think back then it was like 43 people to go Double Diamond. And I was boxed in, but I really wasn't, I was connected to a few people, but I really wasn't connected with everybody. And that chart fell apart. I remember my volume was so high. Like, we was just pushing, like, I don't know, I was running from, y'all, poverty. I was running from poverty. And what I'm telling you is you might be in a position where you're running from poverty right now, but you got to find a new why. Because after I got out of poverty, I was like, all right, what I'm running from? Like, how do I, ain't nobody chasing me. Like, well, what I'm gonna do? I'm serious. I was like, well, what we do now? Like, I'm not running from anything right now. We good from running from, like, let a dog be on your butt. You gonna run, right? What happened when the dog ain't there no more? You gonna run? No, you gonna walk because you good. You know what I'm saying, right? So it was the same thing. So I was running from, but that was not what you asked me. What you asked me again? Lord.
Building the community, the squad.
Yes. No, it was not. It was not. I just wanted some extra money. But when I realized that having a squad and truly helping other people and getting, you know what? This was it. I realized that I wasn't enough.
That's it.
That's what happened. I realized that my word wasn't enough and that it was going to be the togetherness that was going to allow us. People like to feel included. People like to feel a part, like they're a part of something. And that's exhausting for me, but it's not exhausting for us.
As a team or a squad. That's really good. I like how you touched on this in your story and you talked about how the why is important. And let's be honest, sometimes life gets in front of you and, the why can be like, my why is right here, but how is it that I'm going to go from where I am here today to get to that why? How do you keep your why in front of you?
How do I keep my why in front of me? I would say that I am innately an ambitious person. I have always been driven, and what I want, I'm going to get. And I put myself in a position to where I continuously put it in front of me. Okay. So let me give you an example. When I wanted Mr. Whigham, no, I'm just playing. But when I want something, I focus on it, and whatever you focus on grows. And so I just knew what I wanted. I knew what I didn't want. Let's start there. I knew what I did not want. And as a parent, I did not want my son to grow up in an environment that I grew up in. And so whatever that meant for me in terms of being his mom, I was going to make sure that it didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? And I think that evolved as I grew in this business, because initially I thought it was just his J's. And then it was like, okay, wait, his education. You know what I mean? And then it was like, oh, his hair. You know what I'm saying? It was all those things. And then it was like, oh, wait, no, I got to take care of myself, because taking care of me makes me a better mom to be able to take care of him, right? And so it just began to evolve and evolve but I would say my number one thing was my son. And because it is my son, when I woke up every single morning, who do I see? My son. And so it was my why was something that I see every single day, and it was concrete. And so I guess the real question is your why concrete? And even me now, my family is my number one priority. And in order to be good for my family, then what? I have to be, I see him every day. And so is it something that you see in front of you every single day? And so for me, that's the biggest thing. It's something I see in front of me. My why, I choose a why that is something that I see in front of me every single day. And then, Christine, I tell on myself, this is big. I tell on myself and I put myself on blast. So for example, I wanted my sons to use honest diapers because I like them better. And, I decided that I wanted my kids to have more, better, whatever. I wanted them to have natural poop place to poop. Okay. I don't know. And so I put myself out there like, I'm going to do this. Like, I'm going to put myself in a position to where I can run an auto ship for diapers. Who does that? Me. You know what I'm saying? Like, so put myself in that position. So you got to put it in front of you.
Yeah. Okay. So listen, you just talked about putting it in front of you. I'm gonna set the scene. Okay. I'm gonna tell you a story and then I'm gonna ask the question. So this is 2014, Rachel, before she's working in her job. She's at work all day. Okay. She's drove hours because I do know within your position you drove a lot, and your supervisor is demanding something for you that seems impossible. Okay. That's the scene at work. You come home, Trey is tripping. Okay. He done lost his mind. Okay. Then, Breon is supposed to be your calm. He's supposed to bring it all in. But as we know, what often happens in marriage, we get into a disagreement off of something as easy as miscommunication. Maybe he drank the last of the juice. So I want you to talk to me with your mind frame today, not 2015 Rachel's mind frame, today's mind frame. How do you push past that and still have a winning day within your business?
First of all, it's 2014, so Brianna don't live at my house. So you gonna take yourself home because we're not married. So that's number one. So that issue is done. Go ahead and take yourself on back to St. Louis. That's great. We're gonna go our separate ways for the night. So that's number one. So because back then when I was working a full-time job, I was actually still a single mom. Brianna and I, when I got fired, he still married me though. Yeah, he married me when I was fired. I don't know. So that number one, he's going home. That's number one. Number two, though, my mentality, and I'm gonna tell you this: my mentality it's the same now. I would say I've grown and matured more. But when it comes to working my business, I know why I'm doing it, and so I'm going to get Trey. If he's clowning as a parent, I'm gonna go ahead, finish his homework, get him a bath, put him in bed, and then I'm working. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. There's nothing to even deal with that. Like, he can get a nice little whooping, and sorry, I mean, not really, but if you don't whoop your kids, that's fine. But he's gonna get a whooping, and he's gonna go to bed and make sure he ate, maybe. And then I'm gonna focus on my business, because at the end of the day, like, as much as I love Breon and I love his socks off, I didn't work this business for Breon. He was not my husband. I enjoyed the time that we were able to spend because of the business. So it gave me a little extra money so we could go on date nights and things like that. But Breon was never the type where this is a loaded question here, because if Breon,
for you, okay?
Because if even in terms of that relationship, because if he's not supporting me and he's going to be, I mean, I understand not seeing eye to eye, but it should never be that deep. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna do what I have to do in order to be where I need to be in order to continue to have the success that I want to have, because I have a why. Mm-hmm. That's how I can answer that.
But I think you need to talk about it, because it's the difference between the mind frame that a top 150 or top 25 income earner has versus the 97%. So it's something to talk about, the way and the ability in which you're able to separate that. So I think that's a key thing that you said in that question.
That's good.
So okay, we're gonna do a rapid fire really quickly, because we're getting into the questions. I'm gonna do a rapid fire. So this is a this or that. So you have to answer the question with the first thing that comes to your mind, okay? This is different. Okay. First thing, LC or DT?
Oh, DT.
Okay. Fast start or commission?
What you mean, like pay?
Yep.
Commission.
But some people, I know a little bit about your story. When you first started, you used fast starts, I believe, to pay for your wedding dress.
I did. Right now, but I'm in a different place. So they run me my commission.
And fast starts brings the coins, okay? But let's start. Skinny brew or keto coffee?
Actually, you know what? Rewind that. Give me the fast start, because the fast start gonna give me the commission. So let's say the fast start. Fast start.
Skinny brew or keto coffee?
Skinny brew.
Greens or reds?
Reds.
Wrap or cleanse?
Wrap.
400 ppv or 150 ppv?
400.
I just want to throw that in there. Okay, let's talk about it. When you first started, what were the requirements?
And I take it back. I want the cleanse over the wraps, but go ahead. Now in my life, back then I would want the wrap because I cared more about the outside, but right now I need my cleanse because I feel better.
Wait, I have one more question before I go into that one. New diamond chart or old diamond chart?
Girl, new.
So let's talk about the 400 ppv.
No, I take it back. I'm indecisive. I want the old diamond chart. Bring that back. The old one. Old diamond chart.
I wrote that because as I am building towards top 150 triple diamond, I actually brought out the old triple diamond chart because I feel like it'll build my check. But that's why I asked that. 400 PVV, let's talk about it. When you first started in business, that was the requirement. Let's talk about your mind frame and how that should be an expectation as a new distributor coming in, and really you want to be shooting for 500 with the new requirements.
Yeah. What's your question?
My question is, what is the mind frame that you had when you came in the business that made it so easy for you to acquire that, along with the 400 cash you got from reps?
So I believe that the whole, okay, guys, what Christine is talking about is back in the day, you had to either have 400 in personal bonus volume, or you had to run an auto ship in order to get paid, period. Like if you don't run an auto ship, you have to have 400 in order to receive your paycheck. So let's just say somebody had like 350 in volume and you didn't run an auto ship, you don't get paid. Like, it's crazy. So for me, I would say mindset wise, I knew I was building a business. And once I grasped the fact that I was building a business, I trusted that the people who were making money knew what they were talking about. And because I wanted to make money like them, I was willing to do what was necessary and trust the process to get where I wanted to be. Now, that does not mean that I didn't have little moments where I was frustrated with the process, because that happens, right? Like, you can be frustrated, but you have to do it anyway. And so I decided I was going to do it anyway. And I think it was reprioritizing. And the auto ship always made me have to work my business because I don't have $100 to waste. I don't know, maybe people out here balling nowadays, but I don't have $100 to waste. And if I don't have $100, $120, it wasn't $100 flat back then. For me, maybe like $140, including my website. If I don't have $140 every single month, like, sis, you broke. Like, you're broke. And how do you go to the club? Like, I still don't understand that. Like, where you got a new outfit for the club every week? You ain't got no money in your account. I don't understand. You at the bar wondering, praying somebody buy you a drink because you can't even buy a drink at the bar. Like, what is going on? Like, this is not life. And so for me, I would say mindset wise, I wanted to build my business. So I was down to figure it out. And I would say when it comes to pushing towards the 500 club, it's just a matter of abundance and going beyond. 400 is essentially a $40 check. I didn't sign up for that. And so I understand that I need to go beyond that in order to truly get to the financial place that I signed up for. I signed up for an extra $500 a month. So what does that look like? What does that Ruby chart look like? And in order to get to that place financially, I know I'm going to have to make sacrifices to get there. And so that's where my mind was. Whatever, by any means necessary.
That's really good because, and look at you, you are leading me into my next questions. I just love this. Okay, you talked about how every day you don't feel like it. Let's call it what it is. And Rachel Whigham, top 25 Black Diamond. You always turn, girl. Okay, like, do you ever have negative self talk?
Oh yeah.
Okay, walk me through a day in which you've had negative self talk and how you get yourself out of that place.
So not no more. I actually went through a season of negative self-talk. I think we're back in 2017. I went through this place of truly shifting the running from to the running to. And when you are running from, oh yeah, whew, when you are running from stuff, it is so unhealthy and exhausting. So it's almost like I don't want to be broke, so I'm going to work my business. I don't want to not be able to do something, so I'm going to work my business instead of working with my cup is overflowing and it's so full. So I'm going to work my business because of the abundance and what I desire to do, what I desire to give, opposed to what I don't want. It's what I do want. And that was a hard place for me. And so now when it comes to self-talk, okay, when I was in that season, I literally, this whole board, I actually have a picture of it on my phone, but I've changed it. This whole board was filled with negative stuff. And I left it there. I don't know, Brianna remembers, I left it there for like a good 6 months. Some of y'all might even came in my house and saw it. Like, it was like, you created these bills. It was like, it was not good stuff. Like, it was crazy, like crazy stuff that I was saying to myself. And so one day, completely wiped this all off. And I decided to replace that negative talk with positive things. And that's when I came and said, no, you're an awesome mom. You're worth it. God loves you so much. Like, you're a wife. And so I chose to replace those negative thoughts with positive ones. And I think that comes a lot to being reminded of who God made me to be, and knowing that if Satan can get in your mind, he's going to plant the thoughts. But if you're not strong enough and you're not connected to the vine, you'll start to believe the things that Satan told you. And so I got to a point where I was starting to believe the lies. I started to believe that I had put myself in a position, or, you get to this place where is God punishing me or whatever. I even remember when it comes to a certain place where it's like, all right, so the discourse with your spouse, or the discourse with, I know if anybody on here has kids by different dads, like the discourse with that other person, it's like, no, he put you in this place to strengthen you, because where you're going, even now, I can tell when it's a test. And I'm going to pass the test. And so many times we fail the test because we allow the lies of the enemy to become our reality. And so when the negative self-talk comes, I have decided that I know who God made me to be. And so that's why I go above and beyond to spend that extra time with him, tired and all, not sleeping through the night and all, like both kids not sleeping through the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, it don't matter. Like, I'm going to fight for the time, because I need God. I need him to tell me who I am. I need to be reminded every single day about the purpose and plan he has for my life. Because if not, I will believe the lies of the enemy. I'll start to believe them and take them like they're my own, and then start looking at God like, you really don't love me that much, because if you did, then this wouldn't happen in my life. Instead of turning to the enemy and said, what you meant for evil, God worked out for my good. And so that's what I do.
That is, listen, you were talking to me. I don't know, but you were talking to me in that answer, because sometimes you do feel like God is punishing you. But it reminds me so much of the next book in which I'm reading, which is The Decision by Kevin Hart. And I think in the last tip from the top, we actually talked about that. And I believe with everything, it starts with, and everything that you're saying, it started with a decision in which you made to, okay, I don't want this, so I'm going to go for this. But what are some tasks that you cannot go to sleep without completing daily?
For what?
Your business. Sorry.
On my day, what are the tasks that I have to complete before I go to bed?
A day in for Rachel. This I have to complete this task for my business.
Right. So checking eSuite, kind of just knowing what's going on in the state of my business. Are there customers coming in? Are there other people working besides me? That's number one. And then checking in with the team. It's important to me. Posting, messaging, and following up. Okay. Um, those are probably it's innate at this point. It's something that has to happen. And then of course my personal and spiritual development. So I mean, it sounds so cliche to say SD, PD, PMF, but those are my non-negotiables every single day in some capacity, guys. So even if I don't get 50 follow-ups, I bet you I get two. Even if I don't get 10 new messages, I bet you I message 5 people. So those are probably that's it has to happen for my business every day.
That's good.
Something.
I feel like it's important for a new distributor and an old distributor to know what it is that someone of your caliber is doing day to day. What are your non-negotiables? So that leads me into everything that we do in business and within our life happens for a reason, and they lead us to the person that we are today. So I say that before I say this, which is if you could change anything on your journey, meaning, listen, I did this, don't do that. Okay. What is it that you would change and you would tell a new distributor not to do?
Things were so different for me with my enroller quitting, and then me disconnecting from not being connected to anybody above that person. And so, um, with where our team is now, y'all, if I didn't have to figure it out and there were systems in place for me, I would hands down probably went diamond 20 times faster. But I literally had to figure it out and I went diamond in 10 months. So I would say number one, I didn't do this though, but I'm gonna tell you what I think because I didn't do this. Um, Friends and family's opinions mean nothing.
Talk about it.
And if they're going, the only time it matters is if they're encouraging you. And if they're not encouraging you, then they've got to go. They've got to go. My answers to these, I am a unicorn a little bit, just a little bit. So the only thing that I would say, Christine, and maybe Brianna give me some insight on this, don't trick your money. That's my number one. That's probably the biggest thing for me. When you start to walk in abundance, don't trick your money. I'm grateful that Tides was non-negotiable for me because I was like, that's too much money for me to be playing with. You God gonna get his money. Like I ain't playing with that. Like that's it. God was blessing me too much. I was out here like Peter. If y'all don't know the story about that, when God blessed him with the fish and he was like, oh, get away from me, I'm a sinner. Like, what are you talking about? I was, Jesus, we out here sinning, like we're sinning really bad. We're sinning. Just get increase and we go into the hookah bar. Don't trick your money. Don't trick your money. That would probably be my number one thing. Don't trick your money. Connect with people who are where you want to be. And don't be afraid to connect with the people who are where you want to be because they are human. And little do you know, mentoring keeps us alive. It keeps us alive. And so maybe if I would have reached out to Stephanie and been like, listen, I need some mentorship because, we've never been here before. You've seen $200,000 in a month. Let's talk about it. And we did. We started to reach out and get resources from other people who were making good money like us because guess what? Nobody around us made that kind of money. Nobody we knew made that kind of money. And so if you are desiring to walk in this business into places that you've never seen before, you're going to need new friends. You're going to need new mentorship. You're going to need new circles because people have no idea what you're about to walk into, but people, and it works, they will. So I would say that would probably be my number one thing. Don't trick your money. Don't get caught up on who's not here anymore. That's a big one. People are going to walk away. People will come, people will go. But if you continue, like let's just say, for example, if I am going forward and somebody is taking a detour and walking out the door if I'm moving and I'm in motion and I turn to look in their direction and pay attention to them leaving, what direction am I going to go if I'm walking? I'm going to go out the door. So you cannot pay attention to who's not here, who's not working, who's not, because if you pivot in that direction, what happens? You start to move in the direction that they are walking. So don't do that. I think that's a big one for me. Too much time is spent in distractions of who isn't instead of who is. And so you have to always focus on where you desire and what you want, not what you don't want. That's probably a big one too. And take a day off. I wish I would have started taking a day off way before I did, but I take a day off. Take a day off. Let God bless your six by honoring that Sabbath and taking a day off. I think that's it.
But I think that's one of the best things about this squad that has been built is because if your most of the time if your upline has left, Rachel is still going to be here, or your diamond and above upline is still going to be here. I know myself as well as my sideline, like my upline is no longer here. However, I can say literally the day in which my upline was gone, Rachel was like, hey, bro, like, the connection was there. And that's amazing about the community that we have. So I just got 2 more questions. Okay. I'm not going to keep you. I know you are going into your 6th day, your Sabbath. Okay. So, Rachel, I've been in business 5 years. It has been 4 years since my last promotion. Sometimes I question if I am where I'm supposed to be to achieve my financial freedom. Mm-hmm. Knowing what you know, how is it that you would guide me on this journey within It Works? No, okay, let me stop because I was going to start talking too much.
Oh, you're done. Okay. Okay, you decided to cut off the rest of your question. Okay. How would I guide you? Been here 5 years, haven't promoted in 4 years. Correct. You desire financial freedom and to really take things to the next level.
So, that is my advice. Within It Works, we actually lead through God, but I'm actually essentially kind of using God as a reason to talk I'm using my why as a way out.
Maybe God that's not for me.
Exactly.
Maybe God wants me to do something else because it's not manifesting.
Exactly. I'm not actually, but I do work my business for an hour a day, Rachel,
So I think the real question here is why?
Mm-hmm. It comes back to
why are you here? Because when you're clear on why you're here, you won't question if God is in it. And so that's big. So the real question is, why are you here? What is the impact that you are making beyond the income? Mm-hmm. And I think that happens once you hit your wall. Because if you guys don't know, everybody has a wall and It Works. Yours happened a year. You went that first year and you hit the wall. You were very successful, and then you hit that wall, and then it's like, why am I here? And in order to get through that wall, you have to figure out why, because beyond that wall is abundance. And so God is not going to allow you to walk into that abundance until you know why you're walking. Mm-hmm. It's almost like with a marriage, every marriage, come on, some people might have several walls, but every marriage hits a wall. And at that point, you got to know, why am I married? Because you ain't even that fine. I'm just like, my husband fine. Okay. You get to the point like, but why are we here though? Like,
talk about it. Okay.
You get into this place where it's like no longer the twilight zone. And that's what happens with people's businesses. You're beyond the twilight zone. And you haven't found out why you love your business. Are you walking in gratitude? Are you even grateful that you have a way to make extra income? Are you grateful that you get to teach people how to make extra income? Are you grateful that you get to sit in your car and you could literally cash out on $100 right now? But then, are you grateful that you'll be able to bless other people to be able to do the same thing? Or are you only worried about you? Why are you here? Why are you here? And if you're here, I tell people, like I used to tell people all the time, if you're only here to make money, you're in the wrong spot. You can make money, but you can make money by going to work at Walmart part-time. You can go get some holiday pay. It's a lot of people hiring. Go on out in COVID and put your mask on and go work. You can do that. But my why goes far beyond it. There's layers to this. There's levels to this. Right? And there's certain things that I realize that God does not desire for me to do. He does not desire for me to have to experience the things that everybody else is experiencing because he's giving me another way. But the only way that I'm able to do that is if I'm clear on what I'm doing. And I have to believe it. I think this is the big thing. I believe that God is going to take me to where he's going to take me. And my wall is not the deciding factor on my success. I believe that my marriage has purpose. And the person that I fell in love with is just because we've hit a wall does not take away the value of who I married. And so that's the same thing when it comes to your business. Just because you hit a wall did not mean that your business is less valuable. You just don't see its value. But I bet you if somebody else come in, they can see the value. And that's why, come on, marriage. That's why other people are able to step in and do for your spouse, what you're not doing because you're not seeing or valuing what you have anymore. And so the real question is, are you valuing your business? When you see somebody come in and it's like, oh, they went diamond in 6 months. Yes, maybe they haven't hit their wall yet. And that's fine because, when the commissioner step in, they going to hit a wall eventually too, and they're going to be into it. But at the end of the day, they saw value where you didn't. And so do you value your business? And are you clear on why you're here?
That was an amazing answer, okay? Let God use you because he just used you through talking to that. I know you were talking to so many people because a lot of times people don't discuss within business how their relationship may affect how they're working because that we were taught, don't talk about that. Like that's for you and your spouse or you and God. So that's amazing to use that as an analogy to see how you need to keep pushing through your business. So last question, we're going to sum this up. Now, this is go time. Okay. We are planting our seeds. First of all, let's talk about how in November we're going to be a top 25 income earning team. Okay, let's do it. But we know that within November, we are preparing for what we're going to have come conference and the best time within our business. If you guys don't know, 2021 people going to be coming out, 2020 new me, or, those New Year's resolutions where they trying to get fit. What is it that you do to move towards the busiest time within your business to get success?
In all honesty, it's very simple what I do. I'm not everybody else. Even though I'm red green, listen, it's not me. I'm not green when it comes to all of this. I'm not out here with 50, 100,000 lists. But what I do is I plant seeds and I maintain my consistency. I just maintain my consistency. I'm consistently working on signing people. And you know what? I'm consistently working on my PMF. And as I consistently work on my PMF, I'm getting new people. I'm funneling. I'm keeping myself in front of people. And as I keep myself in front of people and get myself in front of more people, then they will see me. They will see me. I'm hitting their inbox, asking them to join me. If they're not ready, that's fine. By the time January comes around, I'll be on exposure 7. I'll be on exposure 8. You know what I'm saying? And then you'll be ready to sign. And that's where that overflow and that levee breaks because I am building my seeds by maintaining my consistency. So what do I do to prepare? I stay consistent. I stay the course. Like it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. And so I stay the course. Now, during that season, I make sure, so like, it's crazy. We do Monday meetup. It's like, well, I don't even have 100 messages to send. Like, that means that you're not doing enough. Like you need to make sure that every single day you're planting your seeds, because I have thousands of seeds to water. I have thousands of seeds to water. So if I wanted to follow up with 1,000 people, it might be cold because I ain't followed up with them in like a year, but they may still be following me, and it may be time for them to join. And so if you don't plant the seeds, you can't water them. So I just maintain my consistency. If I can just be completely honest with you, I'm not gonna tell you I build lists, because all my lists get lost. So I ain't gonna lie to you.
We're not gonna talk about those lists, okay? Okay, now we have reached the end. I want to know, the thing that has been ringing throughout is why. Okay, you keep your why in front of you, and that's how you make it through everything, through every opposition that you've had within life, within business. What is it that you can leave us with as we are on the journey as a team to get our leader to top 25? What is it that you can say to help us? Because we're not even at the middle of the month. So there's going to come a time that we're going to hit the wall and you're going to feel like,
Yeah.
I can't make it.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that you can lead us through to get to the finish line?
So I think that, we know that this business is 90% mental. And if you don't, I'm telling you right now, it's 90% mental. And I think the real question is, what do you do to go beyond your mental block? And once you get clear on what to do when you go beyond your mental block, and at some point you just try everything. I remember the reason why I started boxing, guys, and I think this is maybe really good for a lot of people here, because if you're not moving your body, that's not good. I was reading a Brene Brown book, and it was really good. She was saying that in AA, they teach you to exercise every single day. It's important to move your body every single day, even if you're just taking a family walk. I know that's one of my biggest things about living in Florida. Praise God for the good weather lately. But we would take a family walk every day at 6 o'clock, like to move our body. But I started boxing twice a day. Like there were days I went 2 a-days to clear my mind. And so your mind is powerful, and you cannot give way to the mental block. You cannot give way to the mental disappointment, the discouragement, because when you do, you forfeit. You forfeit. If you've ever seen somebody do a play a sport of any kind, when they hit that mental wall, if they don't know how to get through it, the game is over. It's over. There's something, I didn't even know this was a real thing until I watched this documentary on Netflix. Like in I don't know what it's called, but in tennis, they will literally like give up. Like for real, give up. Like they'll be serving and they will look at the ball. Like just look at, like, people who are champions. Like they will literally just look at the ball because they're so mentally spent. They're mentally spent. And so if you don't learn how to train your brain and your mind and get control and learn how to regain control, you will never make it. And so what's your way? What's your way? How are you going to get yourself in that place where you're mentally sound so you're able to take yourself to the next level? For me, it was those 2 days. It was going, or it may be a walk, it may be a run. And I don't care if I ain't ran in 6 months. I'm about to go put my shoes on and go for a jog. You know what I'm saying? Even if I got to stop every 5 seconds and catch my breath, I'm going to go for my run, because it's important for me to be mentally sound. And that doesn't mean to go and run and text at the same time, because you're not putting yourself in that mental space. It may be a hot shower with no phone, right? So that you can put yourself, I would rather you pump your blood, but it's mental. It's all mental. And so at this point right now, going beyond, you need that mental clarity. It's something I pray for every single day. You need that mental clarity. And so what are you going to do when you hit the mental block? You going to sit down and Netflix and chill? Are you going to scroll on Facebook and look at everybody else who work in their business? Are you going to scroll and talk about people and be pissed off? I don't know. What are you going to do? Call and chop it up with somebody talking about nothing? You going to go out to eat? You going to go get some drinks? Like, what are you going to do? Or are you going to get yourself back into the place that you need to be, to take that mental break, move your body, and jump back into the race? Because that's what's going to get you in there. And then accountability is big too, Christine. Mm-hmm. Isolation will never get you where you want to be. But I'm going to tell y'all this. When people start to isolate, you try to bring them out. But here it is. It's the same thing with the door. If they've decided to go sit by the door, do y'all get what I'm saying? Sit by the door, meaning that They ain't walked out it, so they haven't necessarily quit, but they sitting right by the door on their way out the door. I'm still not turning. I'm gonna reach back my hand and say, "Go get up, like we gotta go." And if they decide, well, no, I'm gonna sit down, I'm gonna let their grown self sit right there by the door as I continue to march forward to the goal at hand. Because why? Because I know what my whys are. And let me just say this, and it's not even just because I'm the person who's pushing for the Mission 25, because Mission 25 changes your life too, right? It changes your life too. But the biggest thing for me is, let's have some integrity in terms of being dependable, because I know every single person on this call wants people to be dependable to you. You want a dependable team. You want a team that shows up. You want a team that you don't have to top off their 500 box. So you make sure that you're that person. You make sure that if they're not performing, that you don't become like the people that you don't want on your team. And I know I just recently said that. So that's just a gentle reminder of, you have to push towards the mark. And this is what I love about being a part of a team. I'm pushing y'all to Mission 25. Yes, I get to be the representative. Praise God, too much is given, much is required. So just know that everything, if you're going through warfare, I go through probably 10 times more than what you're going through. You don't know all the story. Now, y'all know I'm going to tell y'all all the story eventually. You always get the juice from me. So I'm always going to eventually tell you all the story. But when you really, and those who's been here for a little while, who was here during the infertility journey and didn't even know the infertility journey was going on, but I never missed a beat. 2016, which was my highest pay I've ever had, and it works, was the year of infertility. That was my year. That was the year where I went through all the testing, where I went through all the hardships, where I lost my mind. That's why I was clowning and why I was wasted at every party. That was why. And then it was like, oh my gosh, she never wasn't here. Oh my gosh, she was there for me. Oh my gosh, right? And so that's what you want to be. You're strong enough. That the Bible says he will strengthen you with his righteous right hand. And even in all my mess, he still strengthened me with his righteous right hand. That I just love the fact that we don't have to be perfect in order to be successful, but we do have to be willing to show up and give our best and give God something to work with. I used to say he's not an if then God. Yes, he is. If you do this, he will do this. All of his promises are yes and amen, but he's not out here being Houdini. He can, but that's not how he decides that he wants to get things into the land. And so here's the thing. No matter what's going on in your life, you decide not to be a sitter. You decide not, this is not the time to sit down with the person who's at the door. It's the time to pray for them and keep it moving. You pray for them and you keep it moving, because guess what? When you sit down, they're no longer inspired to get up. And you were made to make people get up and move forward and change their life. That is what your vehicle is for. If I ever would have sat down, I remember Brittany, like the only person that's still here, Jesus. But I remember when I had that conversation when I first moved into this house, they came down and they sat in my basement, and they remember being in my basement at the other house. And they were like, bruh, thank you for not sitting with us. Because if you would have never sat, I would not be able to sit in this house and believe that I can do it. And so there is somebody who is waiting for you to get up and stop sitting down so that they can believe that they can do it. That sitter is either going to walk out the door or they're going to get up. But you keep looking back when you want to be forward, and eventually you're going to be discouraged because they're going to walk out the door anyway. And you're still not going to be where you want to be. And so you have to put yourself in a position where you're going to move forward. Move forward. Be dependable. Be somebody that, and it's like, okay, well, I'm doing everything that I can. Maybe, but have you asked your upline? Have you asked them? Are you asking for help? For me, if I'm not producing, you may be in a waiting season. You may be. You may. I mean, I don't know. I'm not Jesus. But at the end of the day, I promise you, there is something that somebody above you can see that you can't see. There's going to be something I told somebody today, okay, and then I'm sorry, I'm past time. I told somebody today, like, she wants the place, okay? She has a deposit for the place. She's a full-time entrepreneur now. I want to be at this place in my business before I go into my place. Absolutely not. Move in faith. That's not faith. If you can see it, that's not faith. Well, Rachel, what if I can't make my rent? Well, what if I can't make my rent? What if I can't make my mortgage?
Fast starts, okay, this or that.
You figure it out. And that's what gives you the vehicle to truly move your business forward. I have the vehicle, especially if you're not in a healthy place. It's not a healthy place. You're not. You think God wants you to sit in a toxic place? Absolutely not. He's giving you that business for a reason. Now you got a new why, right? I'm not saying go create bills, but I'm telling you to focus forward and walk in abundance. And if you are, and as you walk in abundance, you'll walk different. When I moved into this house, I walked different. I walked different. When you pull off the lot in a brand new car, you walk different, right or wrong. Anybody been in a brand new car? You walk different. Y'all walk different when you get a brand new car at the rental place. You be all, y'all know what I'm talking about. You be in a brand new car and you be like, I want to take this back. I'm my own way. Got your glasses on, the music sound different, okay? Like you in a whole nother place. You walk different. You will walk different, and you will walk different in your business. That's why they tell you go lick the leather. You lick that leather. I remember going into Mercedes. I'm almost done. I remember going into the Mercedes store. I'm gonna tell y'all because I ain't bought it yet. But I went to the Mercedes store and he was like, I had been around millionaires too much, okay? I was feeling myself. And he was like, yeah, something $120,000. I said, okay, yeah, that's not much. And I was like, and if I want to like customize it, and it was like, okay, yep, can I have a brochure? Okay, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna have to bring my husband back so that we can test drive this. I'm out here bougie, I own a G550. Crazy. And then God said, you know what? Because you have the faith to do that, you can drive one. And I was able to drive one for hours, okay? Hours, like it was mine. I was out here stunned for the gram. I didn't even get no pictures. I didn't get no pictures of me driving it. I don't know what I was thinking. I was driving a G6. Like, that's crazy. So God will put you in positions, but you got to move. You got to move and shake like you know Jesus. And that's what I'm saying. When it comes to this Mission 25, you move and shake like you know Jesus. And so sometimes it's like he won't open the door because you ain't got nothing to pay for it. Like, you won't even move. You don't have, like we talked about the dream board. Do you even have the dreams so that he can fund them? Have some dreams so that he can fund them. Put them out there so people can know that it wasn't you. God blessed your socks off because you put yourself out there, and so he had to make it happen. And so, yes.
That's amazing because, and you talked about accountability. I wanted to talk about this because you don't want to be accountable to the person that's actually sitting at the door. You need to be accountable to the person that's going to push you to where it is that you want to go. So I just wanted to make sure that I added that because it's all about what you talked about earlier as well. Who are your five? Like, or who are the people that you have around you that are going to speak life into you? And that's one thing that I love the most about what we have here on Money Squad, because at a point in time within my business, I stopped dreaming. But because I'm attached to people like Rachel or Brittany or Toya or Annie, like they like, hold on, girl, like listen, like get yourself together, go to that house that you want to see. Like I actually talk to people about going to open houses. So that's amazing. And I'm excited because as you are going to Mission 25, like, listen, you're going to be top 25 income earning on this team. But listen, that's going to make your check 4 figures. That's going to make your check 5 figures. And let's be real about it. Your check ain't there right now. So don't think about the fact it's all about the lens that you're looking at. Don't look at the lens about what it's doing for Rachel. Look about what it's going to do for you and your family to make sure that you're having an amazing Christmas in cash. So thank you so much. And I hope that I answered asked so many of the questions that you guys have for, this Black Diamond here. I'm going to ask you to pray us out. Thank you so much.
I sure will. And those of you guys hopping on the power, I'm actually going to end this call first so that I can save it and get it up on YouTube, and then you guys can hop back on for Power Hour. So, thank you so much. You've been such a great host. I'm so proud of you. Dear Heavenly Father God, we just love you on tonight, of course. We just love you as a squad. We're just grateful for this opportunity to come together. God, I'm just praying, even in this moment, that people have been able to have the ears to hear my heart today and the things that you desire for them to say, the questions that you gave to Christine to prepare today. I'm praying that it was exactly what they needed to hear in order to make this the best year that they've had all of 2020, God. Even in the midst of everything that's going on, you've put us in a place of abundance. You put us in a place that where we can still change and transform lives through this business. And so, God, we just praise you in advance. We thank you in advance. I'm praying that just any type of fears, any anxieties, any disappointments, any discouragement, any doubts, we just cast them down in the name of Jesus, and we just plead your blood. We plead your blood over our households. We plead your blood over our marriages. We plead your blood over our bodies. We plead your blood over our children, God. We plead your blood over our businesses, God, as we go forth, God. Take the limits off. Help us to break off the barriers that are blocking us, God. Dig up the roots that are bogging us down, the roots that have been a part of even generational roots, God. Dig those roots up. Put us in a place where we are no longer running from, but we are running to, because there are things that you desire for us to have on the other side. There are people for us to bless on the other side. There is somebody out there who needs this business, God, somebody who's asking you for a way out, and we have exactly what they need through this vehicle. And so, God, give us the boldness, the bravery that we need to open up our mouths and be confident in what we have, no matter who says yes, because we are confident in you. We are confident that no matter who says yes to you, you're still good. And so, God, give us that same confidence when it comes to this business as we go forth, not just to Mission 25, but to go forth in terms of the abundance you have for us in this business. So we just praise you in advance for everything that you have done for us so far, but everything that you're going to do. And so we praise you and we adore you and we honor you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Thank you, Christine. Bye, guys.